Good morning, Monday Morning Mamas. Welcome to the Monday Morning Mama Show. We had a last minute kind of switch up in things with some tech difficulties on my guest side. So if you'll give me just a moment to try to get this shared out where it needs to go, that would be fantastic. And I really appreciate you hanging in with me for just a second. So welcome to all of you that are on the replay. And then those of you who are about to join in live, really excited to share with you again this morning. We are on episode 11 of the Monday Morning Mama Show, and I'm really excited to share with you guys today. Let me tag my guest that I was going to have. Was actually going to join in via chat, I think, so it'll be a little bit hopefully good interaction with her as well. So I want to jump into the show. Thank you guys for sticking with me there for just a minute. And I ask that you, if you're on the, whether you're on with us live or on the replay, to give us some hearts and share this video with any moms that you know who may need some Monday morning inspiration. So if you have a case of the Mondays, maybe you have the case of the Mondays every day, and you're thinking every morning, mornings come way too early. Maybe you're on the opposite side of the spectrum and you love mornings and you kind of feel alone in that, and you want to hang with other people who love Mondays too, or who love mornings. So if you said yes to any of that, then the Monday Morning Mama Show is for you. Welcome to the Monday Morning Mama Show, where we bring you fresh and fun inspiration every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. And we are on, like I said, episode 11 today of the show. And we've got a really interesting topic today. We're going to talk about what it means to be a guardian. And you guys know that I'll be jumping in with the textbook definition like a good homeschooling mama. And we'll be discussing this topic with you as well. So I want to quickly welcome all of you that are on live with us this morning. Please say hello, comment down below, and whether you're on live or on the replay, I would love for you to join in by giving comments, questions, interaction, because that always makes the show a lot more fun. So I am your hostess, Jessica Dugas, co-owner of Just Determined and mentor of moms in the Moms Online Mastermind community, where I help moms to reduce the amount of stress and overwhelm in their lives so that they can discover a balance that works for them and really do so in a supportive and loving community. So, hey, good morning, Kayla. So good to see you today. So jumping right into our topic this morning, what does it mean to be a guardian? I would love for you to let me know in the comments below, what does that word guardian mean to you? Do you feel that you are a guardian? And if so, in what way do you feel like that? So, the word for me, the first thing that comes up for me is the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think that's because my kids are kind of into that right now. We've enjoyed those movies. And so as soon as I hear that word, I start to see pictures of that in my mind, which is hilarious. But I want to, I think when I think a little bit deeper than the movie, I really think of, being a mom, you know, guarding my children, you know, just being a parent. And as I think about it further, and something that we're going to talk about today is just some other ways that you may think about being a guardian. And Kayla's saying protector is the first word that comes to her mind. Yes, protector is a good thing. So I think of mom, Kayla thinks of protector, and she thinks of Guardians of the Galaxy too. Yay, I'm so glad I'm not alone in that one. So, all right, jumping into the textbook definition. It's a noun, and it says a person who guards, thank you dictionary.com, protects or preserves. And then when you look at the synonyms of the word from my friend thesaurus.com, it can also mean protector, which Kayla said, and defender, which I love. So what are some different things that we guard as moms? We typically will guard our children. We will protect our children. We will protect our home, right? We make sure, a lot of times, depending on where we live, we make sure the doors are locked. We sometimes will have alarm systems. When we go out of town, we have other people guarding our homes. Hey, Lynn, I'm so sorry you had tech issues. Hopefully we can work out for you to come on the show again. Hey, Amanda, good morning. We do all these different ways of guarding our home. We also guard other property, things, our cars. We make sure our cars are locked. We have car alarms, things like that. Try to protect and guard, or guardians of other things that we carry with us, right? We are protective of our jewelry or our purses, when we go out in public and we go to the restroom, we have to hang up our purse, we try to keep it close by so nobody takes it. And other ways that we can be guardians is in our marriages as well, right? Or our relationships. We can be protective of those relationships, and whether it's your spouse or a friend or anything like that, we don't want anybody to come in and Lynn saying our husbands as well and our friends. We don't want, anything to break up what is important to us or normal to us or things that we love, right? And usually, as it goes with working with moms, the last person that we think about guarding last person that we think about guarding is ourselves. And it's really important that we do that. And it goes back to kind of our episode a couple weeks ago where we talked about boundaries, right? We need to make sure that we have healthy boundaries in place. And I think that it's something important to think about the correlation between boundaries and being a guardian, no matter who or what you're guarding, is that you have to have those fluid boundaries. I think that it's important for that because we talked about boundaries. You said, okay, it's important to set that boundary. However, sometimes you have to be a little bit flexible, and you can't set a boundary made of stone because that's not porous, because nothing will get in and out. I think I talked about the example of in the ocean where sometimes if there's a big shark in the water, put a net out. And the reason, you wouldn't build a wall is because the other sea life, the other things that are necessary for that water area to thrive can't get in and out. So you put a net to keep out what is not wanted in there, but to still allow that other water and sea life and everything to come in and out of the net to keep it alive and thriving. And I think that that's important with guardianship as well. I know that as with children, as moms, it's important to be their guardian, but also to allow them to still explore and do the things that they are going to do, to learn, to go on their own journey, to grow up. And so I think that really, keeping that same mentality for being a guardian of keeping, kind of that sea net there instead of a wall is important. Because it can be really easy for us to become helicopter mom, right? It can become really easy for us to do that. So I just want to check out the comments as well. Kayla also said we guard their hearts sometimes. Yeah, I think, talking about being a guardian, we're not always talking about just being, protecting a whole thing. We're protecting what's inside too. We're protecting those hearts, those emotions in our children as well. So it's important to be their guardian and monitor what the children are around, or things like that. I mean, it's up to every family is so different. We're fairly lax with things that I've seen a lot of other parents be very strict about, and it really just depends on, you have to take that responsibility as a guardian. If you're not going to limit something, then you just have to, you have to have those important conversations, and you have to be mindful about their feelings and keeping the lines of communication open. So tell me about, do you guys that are watching feel like it's the same thing, like you guard yourself last, like that's, you think about guarding your kids and guarding your house and guarding your husband and your relationships and things like that. But do you think about guarding yourself and what's around you and what you hear and see, and guarding your health and looking out for your health and your well-being? How do you feel about that? Where does that rank, for you as well? I would encourage everybody, in working with moms to put that higher on the list, because again, it goes back to the same message of service that we had last week, where if you're not guarding yourself, if you're not looking out for yourself and you're vulnerable, then you're not really going to be there to guard everybody else either. So it really does fall in line as a self-care act, guarding yourself, being a guardian for yourself. And so you can then in turn be there more for other people. I think that that's important. So let me know how you guys feel about that as well. So some other things, like Kayla was talking about, guarding your heart. Do you have boundaries for the types of people that you're around? Do you have boundaries for the kind of movies or games or music or anything that you listen to? Think about what your losing my words today. What are your expectations for yourself? What are your boundaries for yourself? I don't think that that's something we think about often. I think that we can go to listen to a song or watch a movie or whatever, and we don't really give it two thoughts other than, maybe it's either entertaining or not. That's it. But we don't think about, should we be watching this, or should we be listening to this, based on your own, again, this is your own personal, preference, morals, beliefs, that sort of thing. The truth is that sometimes our being doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. And so we have to be a little bit mindful of that. I remember a time when I was feeling really anxious and feeling really kind of overwhelmed. And I would notice that if I would play certain games, or if I'd watch certain things, or if I'd listen to certain songs, that anxiety would get worse. That feeling of overwhelm, like I almost feel like I couldn't breathe, because your body really doesn't know the difference. So it's important to be a guardian for yourself in that way. And you don't have to limit yourself. by saying, you know, I'm never going to watch a scary movie again, or whatever the situation is. However, it's important to start to learn yourself, learn your being, so that you know when it's like, okay, it's probably not the day to watch that, or it's probably, perhaps I should put on some more quiet music today, whatever the situation is. So it's really about that self-care aspect of getting to know yourself a little bit better, and know when it's like, okay, I should probably, you know, put a little net up right now and guard myself a little bit better. And again, it's about, you know, building that net and not that wall, and allowing flexibility and things to happen. And I want to acknowledge some comments right now. First of all, from our expected guest today, Lynn. She's saying, for me, I have to guard my child more, so it can be taxing on me, and I need to be sure to have my self-care. So important. First of all, you know, my guest today, Lynn, she is, first of all, chose to be a guardian. And I want to, while we're on this topic of guardianship, I want to give a shout out to every step parent on this planet who has chosen to be a guardian, because that takes something that I can't even understand, because I am not a step parent. However, I often think about my husband, who is a step parent to my older 3 children. I often wonder, you know, a lot about how he thinks about it and about being a guardian. And so I have to give a shout out to all of the step parents who have chosen to be a guardian, because I think that dynamic is different. I feel like it would take a lot. You know, you have to be more intentional about being a guardian when you're not kind of automatically one when you birth a child. And so I have to shout out to that. And then also, like Lynn's talking about, she has to guard her child more because he is nonverbal on the autism spectrum. So for those of you who are special needs moms, that's even, you know, that's a hard job. And that's kind of a point that I want to, you know, make, that it can be tiring, and it can be exhausting, and it can be hard work per se to be that guardian. But really, I think Lynn will agree with me, in the end, you know, it's worth it, because it's something that we have to do to keep ourselves and our children safe. And it is important, like she said, to when you have that, you know, when it's not just optional to be a guardian, when it's truly a necessity, where you're in a situation where you have to kind of be, you know, a helicopter mom, it is important to tap into that self-care and to be that guardian for yourself, right? So as we're guardians for our children, we need to make sure that you're guarding yourself as well, and knowing those boundaries and keeping up with the self-care is all really, you know, an important part of the process. I want to acknowledge Kayla's comment as well. She said, I've become more defensive of myself lately by guarding myself from being pushed over and taken advantage of. Sometimes it takes making those boundaries and sharing them with those that are on your team as a guardian as well, so that they can remind you. My husband protects me more than I do myself sometimes, and I'm so thankful. It opens my eyes to a lot. Great, great, great point. When you are setting those boundaries for yourself, and you are setting those self-care practices for yourself, one of the biggest helps, you know, ways that you can guard yourself, is to share with those other people in your circle, to allow them to help you help yourself. I'm not real big on, you know, I will say I'm very much for helping yourself, guarding yourself. And so I don't think that it's, you know, productive to expect to be guarded by other people. I feel like you should always be aware yourself. However, those people that are in your close circle, your spouse, your friends, whatever your main support system is, it's important to reach out to them and say, hey, you know, this is what's going on in my life right now. Can you help me help myself? Can you remind me if you see me getting off track? I just think it's really important to have that support system as well. I have a lot of moms who will come to me and say, well, you know, I want to do meditation, or I want to, like, okay, during the Monday morning, or during the Morning Mama Challenge that we had in the Moms Online Mastermind community, I had one mom say, you know, I want to do this routine in the morning, but my family really isn't going to understand. Well, if something's important to you, if it's important for you, if it's part of your being a guardian to yourself to have this self-care time in the morning, it is then important for you to have that conversation with the people in your household. Now, obviously, the little ones aren't really going to understand, you know, the babies, they're going to cry or fuss or whatever. They're not going to understand that that's mommy's time. However, the older children, the spouse, that's a conversation that you need to have. And that's a way for you to be a guardian to yourself, is to, like Kayla's talking about, express yourself. Don't allow yourself to be taken advantage, and express yourself and say, this is important to me, so I need this time. Thank you for understanding. Or can you, you know, a lot of moms will say, well, I don't have any quiet time to meditate. I then have to ask, have you ever asked your spouse if they can take the kids for 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, so that you can, you know, have that meditation time? Have you ever taken 15 minutes? 15 minutes is not a long time, you guys. Taken 15 minutes to ask your older child to watch the younger one. That's what happens around here. We're in a large family. Excuse me. So my youngest is 1, my oldest is 16. My oldest children, the 3 oldest, know that when I come on to work, when I come to do these lives, when I come to have a one-on-one client, that it's time to help out. We've always been that way. From the beginning, we've always been that kind of family of we are a family, and we help each other out. And so it goes right back to what Kayla's talking about being, you know, guardians for each other as well. And guarding that time, letting people know what your boundaries are, what your goals are, what your self-care process is, because they're not mind readers. They're not just going to know what's important to you. You have to express that. So yeah, great points, ladies, both from Lynn and Kayla. Really, really excellent points. You know, being a guardian is about tapping into that self-care when we're talking about being a guardian to yourself, and also making sure that you're expressing that to your team, to those closest to you, what your needs are, so that they can help you to be the guardian for yourself and for other people as well. So being a guardian for each other is important as well. So all that being said, we're going to start to wrap up a little bit. So we talked about today being a guardian, the importance of being a guardian for yourself, you know, having that self-care time, you know, putting yourself higher on that guardianship list so that you can be a better guardian for other people and things in your life. And we didn't even get to talk about being a guardian for your business. That's a whole other topic too. But one of the things that we do in the Moms Online Mastermind community, we have a lot of activities that really help you to get to know yourself better. And I think that it's important to do that. So like I said, you can start to know, okay, when do I need to create this boundary? When do I need to up my self-care game so that you can guard yourself better? And so I would love to have you join me in the Moms Online Mastermind community. Amanda's there, Lynn's there, Kayla's there. And so you can connect with some of these fabulous ladies who have commented on the show today as well. And you can go to find out more about that at www.momsonlinemastermind.club, and I'm putting the link below here for you. If you click the membership button, it will take you to the membership page. We have different levels. The first is always free, and that is happens in our Facebook community, which is Moms Online Mastermind community, and we'd love to have you there as well. So thank you again so much for tuning into this week's episode of Monday Morning Mama, where I come to you every Monday at 7 a.m. Central for inspiration for every mom. Next week, you can join me same time, same place for our topic of teaching without teaching. And my guest next week is the fabulous Jen McDonald from Abundant Thinkers Preschool all the way up in New Brunswick, Canada. And she also has an amazing community called the Exceptional Moms of Abundant Thinkers. And so I'm really excited to have her here. A lot of you know her from being my co-hostess of the Heart of the Home retreat that we had back around Mother's Day. So thank you again to everyone who watched the show today. Thank you, Amanda and Lynn and Kayla, for participating. I love y'all for jumping in and participating in the show today. So until next week, I am Jessica Dugas, reducing stress in the world, one mom at a time. Have a blessed week, everybody.